Well, after a split with Northern Michigan a couple of weeks ago, a split that featured Jack Berry making his first collegiate starting goal and pitching his first shutout, the Hockey Badgers had this past weekend off. Now they're back in action at the Kohl Center to take on the Merrimack Warriors. I'm Brian Posick, the radio voice of Wisconsin hockey, and head coach Don Granato joins me to talk about the upcoming series and about some recent recruits next on the Badger Hockey Digest.
This is Lexi Rush. She's 10, and she's amazing. You see, Lexi was born deaf and couldn't hear anything. That was until her doctor in Appleton referred her to the pediatric specialists at UW Health in Madison. Now, 2 operations later, Lexi can hear everything. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health. Remarkable.
Well, Tony, it's been almost a couple of weeks since you played a game, but the last game was a good one and one of the better efforts from your club this season. A 2-0 win over Northern Michigan to earn a series split. Getting a late goal in the second period from Luke Cunnin, late one in the third from Cameron Hughes, both on the power play, and then you see freshman Jack Berry step in and get a 22-save shutout. That was fun to see.
It really was, and Jack had come in a couple times in relief and played really well and just looked very calm in the net. And the game before, Maddie wasn't real sharp in the Friday night game, so we thought it was a perfect time to get Jack a start. And sometimes you never know when you first start how a guy's going to have to think about the game all day and how he's going to play, if it's going to be different than when you get the call on the bench. It's completely different for goalies. And so we were a little bit wondering, how's he going to be? Is he going to be as calm and relaxed? And he was probably more calm. So it was great for our guys. They loved it. They had a ton of energy in that game. When the game ended and they saw the 0 on the board, the hugs and the jumping on the top of the goalie there was outstanding, because I think they're real happy because he's worked hard. When you come in in a walk-on position, you come in as a backup, you're always wondering when you're going to get your first chance. And obviously he got a few chances in relief early and then come in and start a big game. That was a big game for us. We had a little slip back, I think, from the Clarkson-St. Lawrence series on Friday night. We weren't quite as sharp. And then the rebound from it and come back and play that type of a game was real big for our hockey club.
Yeah. Jack Berry is a 20-year-old from Holly, Michigan, via the North American Hockey League, and he's a young man of few words.
Pretty surreal still. I mean, it's set in, but not all the way. I mean, playing here at Wisconsin, it's unbelievable.
Maybe we didn't necessarily say it, but it was kind of in the back of our mind. This is Jack's first game, and we want him to have success. We want him to have team success, and maybe we need to bear down a little bit, make some smarter plays, and maybe get the puck deep instead of trying to make a move and turn it over, and making sure we're keeping shots to the outside, which I think we did a good job at. When he had to make big saves, he made big saves, but I think for most of the game it was a lot of perimeter shots, so that was good. And then, like I said, it's great for his confidence and great for him as a goalie.
Tim Davison said, in the minds of him and his teammates, okay, we want to do our best to protect Jack Berry because he's in a situation he's never been in before. Then you look at Matt Jarusik, too, who got the boatload of work last year, and we'll see him again in net. But there's nothing wrong with having 2 goaltenders you can count on.
Not at all. Competition's a good thing at any position. Matty hasn't found his rhythm yet. He's been inconsistent. You need your starting goalie or your goalie to be consistent. And from game to game, we've seen a little bit of both from Matty, from real good and some struggling times. So he's going to have to play for us and play well for us if we're going to have success. We know that. He's a good goalie. He's a real good goalie. So it's important we find a way to get him back into feeling good about himself and feeling this confidence. And this might be a good thing now that competition's coming to play.
All right. Badgers getting ready for the Merrimack Warriors, but before we talk about the upcoming series, we'll tell you about 4 new young men who signed national letters of intent to play hockey at Wisconsin. That's coming up in just a moment.
This is what collaboration looks like. This is what happens when a cardiologist in Appleton works step in step with specialists at UW Health in Madison. You see, when Terry's condition required a second opinion, his doctor turned to the cardiothoracic team at UW Health. Together, we made sure Terry got the care and the heart transplant he needed. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health. Remarkable.
Well, the University of Wisconsin earlier this week announced that 4 young men had signed national letters of intent to play hockey at Wisconsin beginning next year. Associate head coach Don Granato knows all 4 of them rather well. Well, let's start with the Wisconsin native, Don, from Verona, Tarek Baker, a young man that's playing with Bloomington right now. I know he's very excited to be a Badger.
He is, I know that. Why wouldn't you be? No, but a great kid. I've known him for probably 4 or 5 years. He was one of the last guys cut with our national team. Our scouts at the U.S. program tracked him at a young age, 13, 14 years old. Loved him. I've been able to watch him since, and he was a heck of a player then, and he's developed even more so.
Got a couple of kids that you actually coached with a national program. How about Tyler Inamoto, good-looking defenseman?
He is very physical. He's a throwback, if you will. Loves the physical grit style, but he's got plenty of skill to go with it. He's 6'3". You will not notice him. He's not only has a big frame, but he'll throw some big hits.
Yeah, and then the Doogie brothers. Jason currently plays with the Green Bay Gamblers. Tell our listeners or fans about him.
Yeah, Jason is the older one, Sean the younger one. Jason I actually had, ironically, with the 97s as well as a call-in player. He's the same birth year as Baker. He played 1 game for me against Michigan State. So he has 1 game of college experience, Division I experience coming in, which is great hindsight in training. He's trained now 3 years since then. So he'll be ready to go and give us some experience as a freshman, older freshman. Brother Sean, I had for 1 full year at the national team. Dynamic player, fun to watch, small. He's only about 5'3", but gritty, feisty, and can score.
As a group, what do you think of these 4?
Well, they add compete for us. They come in with a lot of great experience already, all 4 of them, at a competitively high level, whether it be USHL playoffs, national team stuff. And they'll be contributors not only on the ice, but within our culture, that competitive environment that we want, and we want to elevate. They'll add to that for us.
So Donnie looks to the future, but let's talk about the present. You've got Merrimack coming in this weekend. You're back home, which is nice, obviously, before you go to Thanksgiving in Denver and Colorado College. But I'm guessing Merrimack's like most Eastern teams. There's going to be some speed, but some physicality.
I think so. I haven't seen a whole lot of them yet. What I do know from people that have played against them and watched them, similar to what I've heard about Clarkson and St. Lawrence. So they're going to dump the puck in, they're going to work, they're going to try to establish a forecheck, and they're just going to try and grind you down and play a simple, smart road game. So we got to be ready for it physically. We got to be ready to break pucks out of our end. And I think what you saw from us last weekend, and when you've seen us have success, it's the opposite for us. We establish our forecheck. We wear the other team's D down with our speed and with our offensive ability, and I think that's the kind of game that we'll want to play this weekend.
Yeah, and you look about Saturday's game 2 against Northern Michigan. That was a good 60 minutes. You'd like that effort every night, wouldn't you?
It was one of the best. It was really a 1-0 game. We scored a late power play goal, but that's a game where you got to rely on your specialty teams to pick you up. Our penalty killing has been pretty consistent all year. They did a great job, and of course to get the Cunnin power play goal and then the Hughes power play goal late in the game, those are the differences in the game. But if you look back at that game, some of the key contributors were our 4th line, and you look at the Zerbals line, I thought they were outstanding. Cavallini and Freitag, they established a forecheck, they drew penalties, they wore the other team down, and they changed the momentum in that game a lot for us. So when you get 4 lines going the way we did that night, and for it to be a 2-0 game, you think it would be boring. I thought that was one of the most exciting games that I've been around in college for a long time. So fun to be part of it, and hopefully we continue to have more of this.
All right. Thanks for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Brian.
That's Badgers head coach Tony Granato. Wisconsin and Merrimack Friday night. You can watch the game on the Wisconsin channel. Saturday, it's on Fox Sports Wisconsin Alternate. You can always listen on the Badger Sports Network. For Tony Granato, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.